Hey guys, welcome back, episode 53. Yeah, I've been very busy, so I finally got some time to fly today. Also shift some, switched scenes here. I'm currently at Benning. I've been flying just on my own, solo, offline, off stream here on PilotEdge a couple of days ago, which was kind of fun. Also quite different from flying on stream with you guys. Yeah, I'm just at Benning, very near to Palm Springs, and today I'm gonna go back to Palm Springs again. So a very, very short flight. Let me just get ForeFlight here. So as you can see, Benning over there, non-towered airport, and then we're gonna go all the way to the east to Palm Springs. And just have some fun. But we can do some traffic patterns here on or a traffic pattern here on Benning and do one at Palm Springs just for fun's sakes. But anyway, just a casual, fun flight here at the Uncertified Pilot. I hope you enjoy.
Welcome to the Uncertified Pilot. I'm Tim, and this is my flight simulator.
Alrighty, so flight planning wise, let me unplug my power cord here. All right. So yeah, very simple flight from Benning to Palm Springs. Not a lot of stuff that needs to be considered here in terms of flight planning. We've got some terrain obviously here around us. Let me see if I can have a quick look outside. Well, you can see there in the far distance, mountains, and also to the left here. So Benning is actually inside of this corridor, this valley, moving up to Palm Springs. Also here on Benning, there's quite a lot of traffic, drone traffic here around the field, much more than usual. So that's interesting. There's a beach baron, I think, and some other stuff going on. So we need to look out when we do our departure. And as you can see also, because it's a corridor, you can see a lot of Victor Airways here moving in and outward from Palm Springs. So that also kind of like signals to us that we might encounter some traffic in that during our flight here to Palm Springs. So terrain, well, diversions, alternate airports we don't really need in such a short hop. Other airspace, well, there's just a lot of Palm Springs stuff that is irrelevant, but just that Delta class airspace of Palm Springs. And what we need to do is just sign in with ATIS. So that's something that we need to note once we departed, which we already do here on Benning on the ground, I guess, is tune into the ATIS frequency of Palm Springs to get that weather information code. So we can say hi to the Palm Springs controller and say, hey, here we are with Alpha, and then fly inbound. Enter that airspace. All right, in terms of Palm Springs, where is it? This is Palm Springs? Yep, that's Palm Springs. Palm Springs, and as you can see, shorter runway, long runway, and as you know, I love to park here on the east ramp. So what you can do, or what you should do actually, is when you arrive at an airport, you fly inbound, just when you enter the airspace of your destination airport, you can already consider this taxi diagram and let the controller know what your preferred parking spot would be. So then the controller can assign you a runway that is much more close to that parking spot. So in our case, when we check in with the tower, we can say, hey, here we are, and we like to park at the east side of the airport, on the east ramp, and chances are then that we get assigned the 3-1 right runway here, and that will give us a much more shorter taxi route to the ramp. Simple but helpful. Okay, frequencies we got already there, and not a lot of stuff that we need to be considering here. In terms of weather, also very short flight, so we're just concerned with local weather. As always, almost always, we've got VMC at Palm Springs. And again, you can see that's still the case. There's some bluish there, light showers, rain showers, broken at 3000, but that's not a concern to us currently. I can see some winds, 10 knots winds, 20 knots becoming, enough visibility, and clouds are very much high up. So that's good. Okay. In terms of fuel, I have refueled my tank, so I think that's okay. Let me see what ForeFlight tells us. We need, well, about 6 gallons, which is practically nothing. It's a 19 nautical mile flight. And that's about it, I think. In terms of my flight planning checks, let me see. Route, airports, runway. Yeah, runway, I already know that the runways are long enough. Airspace we did, weather we checked, altitude. Yeah, what altitude are we going to fly? Well, again, short hop. At Benning, we're currently, what's the altitude here? Elevation, airport elevation is around 2200. So we can fly up to around 30, 35, I guess. Something like that, and just fly inbound. And once we already get on top of our cruising altitude there, we can already start our descent. So in that way, we can also just stick at 3000 and just allow the terrain to glide down when we approach Palm Springs. Altitude, diversions, yep, check those. Frequencies, we've got those here near here on ForeFlight. Fuel, we checked. Frequencies we also have here, and weight and balance is not a concern to us. Okay. Well, it is a concern, but in case we're just flying here on our own, solo here in the Cessna, so we're not too heavy, I guess. All right, so that means that we can start our reset cabin checks. Well, let me see. First off, reset cabin check. So here we are again in the beautiful Cessna. Also, guys, have you seen the previews of X-Plane 11? Wow, it looked great, at least in my opinion. At least the outside, the scenery and the haziness and the stuff. Still, I don't like the clouds that much in X-Plane. And what I don't like is that by default, there's not a lot of realism there in the cockpit or in the aircraft, which I guess is not really a fair comment, because here on FSX and Prepared, also the default airplanes are not that realistic, but still I hope that there would be a little bit more realism there, because I still like X-Plane, and now with X-Plane 11 it really looks very, very nice. So I'm hoping that perhaps even A2A or Airfoil Labs or SimCoders will release just a Cessna Skyhawk 172 with the realism of this A2A, of a real-world Skyhawk, with the leaning behavior and all the stuff that I very much like here with the A2A Cessna 172. So I'm hoping that that software will be developed soon. And I already on Twitter, I already tweeted the SimCoders guys who already have some very neat software available for the, well, some Piper airplane and some small aircraft, GA aircraft, which is very, very realistic and very much like A2A, but not just the ordinary, basic, classic Cessna Skyhawk. So I tweeted those guys and saying, hey, could you please apply your magic to the default Cessna 172 in X-Plane 11? And the guys actually replied in a positive way, and they were experimenting and looking into that feature. So I'm hoping that the guys will actually do that and release a upgrade package, an expansion package that you can install to make that default Cessna 172 much more like an A2A airplane, which would be awesome. And in that case, I think I will reconsider going to X-Plane again. I mean, again, the whole idea of using Prepared, in my case with A2A, is all about my PPL-oriented training program or phase that I'm currently in. I really like practicing leaning, foul plugs, and, well, all the stuff that I've been mentioning in the previous episodes. And so I like to have that realism as well in X-Plane. And currently it's not there, even with third-party software, so that's why I'm sticking to Prepared and A2A. But still, X-Plane looks very, very neat, I think. Also nighttime flying, and also the scenery in the community around X-Plane that I really like. But until that software is there, that release, then I'm still sticking to Prepar3D. But perhaps just in a few months, who knows, we will switch to X-Plane 11 again, flying a much more realistic Skyhawk in X-Plane 11. Hey Osaka, welcome. Welcome on board. Alrighty, so banning, let's start our checks here. Working rig set, fire extinguisher, pretend it's in the green, closed. ELT is auto, cabin air, here is open, flaps are up and they are up. Levers, they work, also my static panel works, alternate is closed. My trim is working, fuel tanks. Set those to both already. Cutoff is not cut off. Transponder is off. This stuff is all on, and circuit breakers are all in, and this is off. And also synced with my panel. Yes, it is. Cool. So that's the reset cabin checks. Let's also remove the pitot tube cover. Remove and the wheel chucks. There they are. Whoop. Okay. Mustang, hey, welcome on board. Alrighty, then let's do our flight control tests. To the right, that one goes down and one goes up. That one goes down and that one goes up. Then the elevators up, down, and up. Good. Trim tab is working and the rudder works as well. Good. Let's turn the batteries on here. As you can see, we've got enough fuel. And let's turn all the lights on. Landing lights, taxi lights, strobe lights, nav lights, and also the pitot heat. Let's go outside and have a look if those are actually working. On. Strobe light, bloop, there it is. Position light also, and on the other side as well. Beacon light and the position lights are on too. Good. Then, well, store warning again. Don't know if you hear the sound. Still need to check if that's really audible here. I don't think so, really. What's more important is the pitot tube, and it's hot. Okay, so the pitot heat is working as well. Good. Lights all out except for the beacon and pitot heat also off. We can turn on the avionics to see if those are working properly, and also turn down the flaps. There they go, and they go down in sync. Good. Let's test. Okay, it's ready on VFR. That's good, and all the stuff is working. This is all good. We're going to set that soon. Annunciator panel. All the lights are working as well. Again, enough fuel. Circuit breakers are still in. Good. Avionics off. Batteries off. Let's do our exterior walk around then. Here we go. Well, let's pretend that it's not blocked. Baggage door is closed. Let me cancel or disable TrackIR here. Okay, close look here at the elevators. Connected. Looks good. Good, tied in, connecting rod. Everything's seems to be in place. And wiggle of the trim tab. Good. Flaps, there's a wiggle, and control arm seems to be secure. Ailerons, bloop, bloop. Looks good. Tie down is removed. Wheels look good. Fuel sump, good color, no contamination with water. Enough gallons, confirms our fuel gauge. Oil, good color, and enough quarts. At the engine. Good color. Prop. Seems to be intact. Good. No bird's nest or other stuff there in the intake. Static air is clear. Enough gallons. Fuel sump over here. Good color. Wear and tear on this wheel seems to be just fine. Fuel vent is clear. Ailerons. Control arm is good, and finally flaps. Again, same wiggle, and control arm is secure as well. Alright, so that completes our exterior walk around. We've got a healthy Cessna Skyhawk. Alright. Just gonna put my chair a little bit more closer to my cockpit here. Alrighty, so let's fasten our seatbelts. And let's get going. Oh, it's a little bit turned. Alright. Close the door. Window is still open, that's good. And I'd still like to go a little bit closer to the screen. Like that. What is happening around here, man? Talking about those drone traffic. Oh, there he goes. All right. Yeah, so once more the briefing. Again, very short flight from Benning to Palm Springs. We're going to check in with Ada soon to get the weather code. We fly to around 3500, check in with tower and ask for parking at the east ramp. So we get assigned the 3-1 right runway. So that brings us right to the ramp of where we left with the previous episode, and then we can continue from there onwards. We are not considering any dangerous terrain here or any airways or airspaces that we need to look out for. So it's pretty basic, just VFR, visual reference points, following that highway here all the way to Palm Springs. And that's about it. So very small, very nice, short flight. I like these kinds of flights. All right. So park and brakes. Let's release those and check whether our differential braking is working, and it is. Fuel tanks are set, and we are ready to go. Okay. Circuit breakers are still in, and our avionics are off. That's good to know. Okay. Batteries on. Set our throttle there. Priming. 2, 3. Cut off. Okie doke. Anyone around here? No. So clear prop. Mixture in. Back to both. 1200s. Oil pressure is coming up within 30 seconds. Check. Lean for ground. Generator on. Set to 1000. Avionics on. Flaps up. Transponder set to mode C. Verified 1200s. Verified virtual headphones on. Good. A lot of traffic there. Okay, so engine is on and is warming up. And parking brakes are set. Good. So now I'd like to listen to ADIS. And ADIS is 118.25, already set in the COM2 active. And we cannot pick it up because we're on the ground, I guess, and the mountains are interrupting. Or okay. So that means that we're going to pick up ADIS while we're flying. That's fine by me. Also, I'd like to do a traffic pattern, I guess, just once here at Benning. Perhaps then we got interfered here with the AI traffic, because those are completely, the traffic is completely ignoring us here. But anyway, I'd like to just to do a one traffic pattern here on Benning. And as I already noticed, we've got a right pattern. So let me just make sure. Yeah, right pattern. The right pattern is 26. Also means that we need to taxi the other way around here. And then we can do our right pattern lap. Okay. Okay, 112.8, and that's already set. We can also set in the COM1 standby the tower of Palm Springs, which is 119.7. 119.7. Good. That's about it, I think. 118.25. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So that stuff is all set. So that means that we can set our altimeter to airport elevation to get our current altimeter setting, which is 22222. 22222, something like this. So that's set. Good. Our Oh, wowie! Helicopter landing. Awesome. Also, helicopters are quite dangerous, obviously, for small GA aircraft here nearby. You can imagine that a lot of wind is now coming down and is rolling up like kind of wake turbulence here on the ramp, and you can that power of a helicopter can actually just turn your Skyhawk all the way over. So that's serious stuff. Don't know if that's AI traffic or just another pilot. It's good. Hey, Sniper. Good to see you. Missed your stream. Thanks. Welcome on board. Yeah, I'm busy, guys. That's how life goes. Doing a lot of interesting and creative stuff. But I have been flying, though, off stream. I'm really enjoying myself, actually. But now I had some time to stream and share my flight with you guys. All right, so engine is slowly warming up. Not there yet, but doesn't really matter. I was concerned with the heading indicator. Let me see if that's synced. We've got gyro drift enabled now, so we're now reading 255. Well, something like this would be better. Let's set our heading bug. That was 26, and we're going to depart 26 because it seems like the AI is also departing 26. As you can see here, starts 08. So we need to taxi all the way here and go that way, all the way around. Okie doke. Seems basic to me. So that completes our checks. Lights are all on. Yeah, we're ready to go. So, parking brakes released. Brakes work. Let's make the turn. Heading indicator is turning. Slip indicator, turn indicator. And attitude indicator stable. There we go. Like that people flow. Oh, that's interesting. Again, you can see how the AI traffic on PilotEdge is recorded in X-Plane. And that X-Plane has slightly different airport elevations or terrain. Also a reason to fly on X-Plane if you're a PilotEdge customer. Slow RPM still, so preferably keep it below 1400 RPM because the oil temperature is still not in the green. It also limits us doing our run-up or power check. Our engine needs to be warm, obviously, before we can do that. Nice mountains here in the background. As you can see here already, the photorealistic scenery comes in of the ORBX Palm Springs region. Very nice software package. Includes Palm Springs and Benning and Bermuda Dunes scenery. Very frame rate friendly, at least in my experience. Now I could have announced my taxi to runway 26. On YouTube I see that there's a lot of difference there between pilots announcing those taxi actions and other pilots who don't, and I guess it just depends. If you've got an airplane on CTAF that is inbound to Benning in this case, coming in from 10 miles or so, it might be interesting or might be useful for him to know that there's already a guy planning to depart. And so I guess it has to do with your situational awareness of what the system, what the traffic is doing around the airport. And in our case, I don't hear anyone on CTAF right now, at least live, human pilots. Still have my COM2 on audible, on, so once we depart... Oh, this is interesting. Glad I disabled the aircraft collision. So this is going to be our run-up area. Alright. Let's turn our tail here. Good, something like this. Alrighty, is our engine warm? It just is. Good. So mixture full in. Brakes, manual braking. 1800s. A little bit more. Alright, everything is stable. No annunciator messages. Good. Mag check. Left mag. Looks good. Back to both. Right mag. Looks good too. Back to both. Landing lights on to see if there's the... on the M meter there's a small dip, but it should reset itself to 0. So that tells you that the battery is actually charging, so that the generator is working. Let's have a look. Then light on, bloop, and as you can see, it works just fine. Love the realism here. So that's good. Back to idle to see if we still have oil pressure and the engine doesn't quit on us, and it doesn't. Good. Looks good. Back to 1000. Alright, that means that we are ready to go. Well, let's close our windows. Mode C, transponder, all verified. Trim is set. Fuel tanks are set to both. Landing lights on. Strobe lights on. We got departing traffic here, so let's just wait. Also have a look what the other traffic is doing. Just above our wing, I guess. Ah, sniper, yeah. ORBX scenery is really great. It is. Alright, so departing traffic over there. So what we're going to do is depart right-hand traffic, 1 traffic lap, and then we're going to return to Palm Springs. Banning traffic, Skyhawk, Papa Hotel Tango India Mike is departing runway 26 for close traffic, right-hand traffic. Banning. Okie doke. Make sure no one is there. Good. Mixture full in, lights are on. We're ready to go. Aligned. Confirms our heading indicator and bug. There we go. Full power. Engine still green. It is. Some right rudder in. Airspeed is alive. Always keep your hand on the throttle. 40, 50, and 60. Pull on that yoke. There we go.
Palm Springs Airport information, Victor.
Victor.
1917 wind 231 at 4. Visibility greater than
Wind's
20
calm.
miles. Sky conditions.
Good. Victor. Alright. Keep that speed around 75. Now let's climb to 700 feet AGL. So that would be around 900 here. 2900. Because then we are 300 feet below traffic pattern altitude and we can start our crosswind turn. Now I'm not too concerned with the AI traffic here because I cannot control them and they don't control themselves based on what I'm doing. So I'm just making my laps here. Gentle turn. Need to make sure that I'm not flying into that terrain to the right. As you can see, we've got some terrain. There's our traffic pattern altitude. Nose down. Allow our airspeed to increase. A little bit more nose down. There we are. Good. Hill coming up. A little bit less power, and I also like to trim a bit more nose down. Good. More. Let's make that turn to downwind. Banning traffic, Sky Papa Del Tango when your mic is turning right downwind, runway 26 for a touch and go, banning. Alrighty. Less power. Get to 3200. As you can see, the terrain is quite curving around Banning, so at one point you're 1000 AGL, at one point you're only 700 feet AGL. Less power there, keep my speed below 100 so I can switch that, turn in that 1 notch of flaps. A little bit more nose up. There we are, below 100, first notch of flaps. Push on the yoke. A little bit more speed, like to be 80 plus here. So a little bit more to the left. Nose down, trim, nose down, trim, nose down, trim. Parallel with the runway. No traffic still. But I'm guessing that we'll get some traffic on our tail very, very soon. Captain Duckman, welcome on board. Alright, there's the numbers. Wait for that 45-ish degree. We can already, or should already, start our descent, but I feel that we are very near the ground. Alright, turned, a little bit of right rudder, not too much of a nose down dip, Tim. A little bit more nose up trim here. There we go. And now we're focusing on getting that speed into the wide band so we can turn our second notch of flaps. Alright, that's our base. Bending traffic, sky propel turning mic is on the right base 26, touch and go, bending. Here we are, second notch of flaps. Good. Still 4 wides. Less power. A little bit pushing on that yoke, so nose down trim. There we go. Bending traffic, Skyhawk Papatel, Tango, India Mike is turning final, runway 26, touch and go, bending. Some scenery loaning there. Watch that speed. A little bit overflown. The turn, but not too bad. Alright, get that speed around 65. Good. A little bit nose up trim here. 3 reds, or a little bit too low according to the Papi, but I feel they were actually quite okay, to be honest. But oh, that's too much nose up trim. Stabilize your descent, Tim. Come on. A little bit more nose up trim there. It's very useful to keep on trimming while you're descending, or in your final leg. Really helps, at least most of the time, to get your to nail your touchdown. 55 knots, good. There we go. Nose up. Let's pull away the throttle there. Not too bad. Flaps up. Keep center line. And full power. Come on, baby. You can do it. 50. 60. Good. Let's go up. Up and away. Not too steep to keep that speed increasing to around 75. Goes down trim a bit to help me do that. Again, 2900 would be our altitude for starting our crosswind turn. No sight of that traffic, by the way. No one to the right of us. We're gonna make our turn. Good speed. Now, because Palm Springs is very nearby, I'm just going to keep my landing lights on just to remain visible. And what I'm also going to do is just ascend, climb through the traffic pattern altitude here. Bending traffic, Skyhawk Papatel Tango Mike is turning right downwind runway 26. We're going to leave the traffic pattern area to the east to Palm Springs. Bending. There's the airport, good. I'm gonna reset my throttle here so that our fuel flow is in the green, good. That means that we cannot climb that fast. So calibrate a bit. Good, keep a lookout on other traffic. All right. Well, we got Victor information. We could check once more to make sure.
Palm Springs Airport information, Victor.
All right. Winds were calm, so nothing really significant here. Love the scenery. Looks really, really nice. Switch to tower. It's also set already to standby to ground. Let me peek. That's 1 to 1.9 as I see on the map here. 1 to 1.9. So we already set. Well, 3500 was a bit too low, as I see right now, as we planned. Oh, there's the other traffic. Short final and long final. Can also lean the mixture a bit. Always good to keep your engine in shape. There goes the EGT needle, goes up. A little bit less power. And also let's trim. Look at this scenery, guys. But still, I have to be honest, on X-Plane using the photorealistic scenery, how is it called? G2XPL?
Contact SoCal approach 127.4.
Is so much nicer. It's even nicer than this.
Prep 3-2 Delta, you on the go yet?
Number 3-2 Delta is excellent.
Alright, it's already time to check into Palm Springs. Let them know we'd like to land on the east ramp.
Hello 3-2 Delta, roger, contact departure.
Got my scratch pad in already. And what's the distance now? I would say 14. Alright. And we're about northwest. Okay.
Tango SoCal approach altimeter 3000.
Palm Springs Tower, good day, Skyhawk. Papa Hotel Tango, your mic is around 15 nautical miles northwest of the airport at 4,300 inbound for a full stop with information Victor for the east ramp, if that's okay. Let's see.
Now, 432 to send them report to contact. Right, say attentions.
Now, until we have contact with tower, we cannot fly into the airspace of Palm Springs yet. It requires contact. So once the controller acknowledges our call sign, we're clear to go.
Now 32 Delta, expect further clearance 1940, time now 19.
Palm Springs is just around the corner here. Let's do our recall once more.
PHTIM, Palm Springs Tower, say again.
Papa Hotel Tango Mike is around 10 miles northwest of the airport at 4,200 currently, inbound for a full stop with information Victor for the east ramp, if that's okay. 3-1 right, if that's okay.
PHTIM, Rogers, call 5213
That's squawk 5213 for Papa Hotel Tango Mike. Roger, squawk 5213 will ident. Papa Hotel Tango Mike. 5, 2, 1, 3, and press ident.
CGTMB runway 26, clear to land.
So this is really Charlie airspace kind of procedure, even though it's Delta airspace like officially on the sectional Palm Springs. So I've now idented my transponder, so it's bleeping on his radar, so he should confirm my position and perhaps also give me some instructions here to go inbound and land. Just keep my scratch pad in there ready. Speed is okay-ish, not to go that fast. But he acknowledged my call sign, so we already have contact, so I can continue my inbound flight here. Palm Springs is over there. So I guess we're going to get a right downwind arrival for 3-1 right. That's what I'm expecting. Look at these windmills. Hundreds of them. Well, I'll keep those We'll keep that hidden in so you can enjoy the view too. So since I'm expecting that right downwind, because we're going to land from the other way in, and perhaps for that reason we can expect traffic departing toward us, or to our current direction here, I'd like to stay clear of all this stuff here, because probably there's departing traffic there. So I'm sticking a little bit to the left here, so staying here to the north side of the of this freeway, so we can then fly toward Palm Springs on the other way around.
That's the 6 Golf Echo Tech SoCal approach 128.1.
Still, we should have received a reply though from the control tower that he sees us.
UCA under contact 10 miles northwest of the airport.
Position checks for Papa Tango Mike. So what he's doing, he's repeating my position, not just for fun's sakes, but to make sure that the blip that he sees on his radar is actually us. So it's good that we have confirmation. So I'm actually confirming that that was me on his radar, based on that information that he just gave us at 10 miles northwest. So still, we haven't received any instructions here of how to enter the airport. What we know by looking from the map. Let me see here. Whoop. RP 3-1 left, 3-1 right, as you can see. Oh, on the bottom. So I'm already very generally flying inbound until we get instructions. Still good speed. Man, this is such a cool hobby. It never gets boring.
Go to ABX 5 Foxtrot, thank you.
What's the airport elevation? It is 476. So that means that traffic pattern altitude, yeah, that's right. That's 1500 MSL. You can see already the runways, 3-1 left and 3-1 right. That's the east ramp. Now, once we're over here, that's when I would like to know what are entry instructions. So if we don't receive those yet, I mean, I guess the airspace of Palm Springs.
I parking east or west?
I would like to park at the east for Papa Tango Mike.
Then right downwind runway 3-1 right.
We'll enter right downwind 3-1 right for Papa Tango Mike. Thanks. All right. If he didn't give me that instruction, I would now say, hey tower, we're 5 miles. How would you like us to enter the pattern? So we're clear to go. We haven't received clearance for landing yet, which is not unusual though, but still. Sometimes on PilotEdge, when it's not that busy, the controller already gives you clearance to land already when you're not even in the pattern yet. But it depends, I guess. So I reduced my throttle a bit, still keep my lean configuration. And we'll just very slowly enter. Officially standard entry procedure would be a 40-degree entry. But it isn't that strict though. I mean, that in our case would just extend our time flying. And also it is not in line of the expectations, I guess, of the controller. So it's better to just do the obvious. And in doubt, just ask the controller. It was a very nice video recently uploaded by Flight Chops on YouTube. I also retweeted it on my Twitter channel. Talking with a HC controller who is also an IFR pilot, was also flying with Flight Chops on one of his flights, talking about ATC mic fright, of being afraid of how to chat with ATC. It's very, very nice. So if you're interested in PilotEdge and that stuff, check out Flight Chops' YouTube channel, or go to my Twitter channel and look for that retweeted video. Alright, still a little bit too high up here. Like to be around traffic pattern altitude around here. We could now already go for our before landing checks. Still lights are on, strobe lights are on. We can push our mixture full in, that's what we just did. And there we go. Still no other traffic, also not on the channel here, on the frequency. So we have nothing to worry about. We can set our heading log to 223.1. Our heading indicator is synced with our magnetic compass. Kind of. Seems to be 135. 135. Hey, thanks. November 390 Delta Tango. Thank you for sharing the link to Flight Jobs. Again, good speed because we're already below 100 knots, so that means that we can already start with our first notch of flaps, which I'm not going to because we're still in a very nice descent, but again, that's our target speed here for the downwind leg. And there's my favorite airport and my favorite ramp, which is, so I don't know why, but, well, I do know why, because this is the airport where I did my very first contact with PilotEdge A2C controller, which was very, very exciting. And it already shows you the level of realism that PilotEdge brings to your flight simulation hobby, rather than just having some skill, yoke skill. Alright, downwind, full in. We have our mixture full in, we have our lights on. Traffic pattern altitude is coming up. We don't have clearance to land yet, so I would expect it to get that clearance very soon. If not, we're gonna ask for it, and we can just say, here we are on our, you just mentioned your current position. So that could be, we're here on midfield downwind, or that could be base, and that's what I'm going to do. So when we turn for base, we haven't received our clearance. I'm just gonna give a position report, and that might trigger him to give us a clearance anyway. Alright, traffic pattern altitude, a little bit more power, first notch of flaps. Push down on that yoke. Keep our speed plus 80. Same drill. A little bit nose down trim here, still we're good.
Station still contact Los Angeles.
A little bit more power. Well, we can start our base turn here.
32 Delta, advising ready to depart. Hello, 32 Delta, Rider to San Luis Airport via direct from Morro Bay via WAR, direct, maintain 4000.
Wait for the reply. Palm Springs Tower, Sky Popper Delta Tango Mike is turning right base, runway 31 right, full stop.
PHTA, runway right, clear land.
Clear land, 31 right, Popper Delta Tango Mike. Did I say 31 left?
Station 646 Delta Tango, Los Angeles Center cross plan.
Second notch of flaps.
At,
Whoa, overshooting that runway.
Altimeter, 29er6.
Okay, making that turn, watching my speed. And it's dangerous here to overfly or overshoot that turn, obviously, because you have that runway on the left.
32 Delta, you clear to San Luis Airport.
So that was a bit sloppy. Also we're high up, but
maintain
that's
4000.
something that we can fix. Alright, got our clearance to land, lights are on, mixture's full in. Now let's get to the right speed. So a little bit more nose up trim here.
About 32 Delta, proceed direct Morro Bay.
Good. There it goes. Nice and easy. Alright, a little bit more nose up trim. Nice. Very stable. Good. Just, alright. Focus. So, far end of the runway. Same drill as always.
Contact 12618.
Oh, a little bit more nose up trim here. Good. There we go. And throttle back. Far end of the runway. Focus on the far end of the runway. Not too bad. Flaps up. Below that green belt band on the airspeed indicator, you can start using your aerodynamic braking, pulling on the yoke, and also some manual braking here. That's Foxtrot.
Tower, Skyhawk 484 Golf Echo, 5 miles east of the field, inbound to land.
Alright, power.
Base runway 20 left, clear to land.
Left base 20 left, clear land.
Mixture, set to ground.
PHTIM, taxi parking via Echo, correction via Bravo, see it.
Taxi to parking via Bravo. Papa tells you, Mike. Thanks, bye. Alright.
PHTIM, I had it right the person, so yeah, Echo.
Via Echo, Papa tells you, Mike. Okay.
6 Delta Tango, contact Santa Barbara approach 120.55.
First, let's clean up first. So, mixture set to ground. Landing lights off, strobe lights off. Let's already open a window. Not really that necessary, but still. Squawk is still in. Okay. Traffic, none. Welcome to Palm Springs, guys.
Citation source 6.
Very, very nice lights.
I don't think that's going to work out for you. Visibility is reported 2 miles. It's about 600 feet. You want to try it anyway and then see what happens?
See what happens in IMC. A little bit more power here.
So
Alright.
Santa Barbara approach, roger, clear, direct. Go left.
Thank you for following, Bent.
Approach, altimeter 299.
Thank you. Very encouraging. Now, the controller could have requested us to switch to ground, obviously. We're still on tower. Again, this is something that also happens in the real world, but quite often on PilotEdge. Because most of the time, especially on days when it's not that busy, one controller controls all frequencies. So also radar and non-radar controller positions. When it's more busy, or I guess on regular days, most of the time there are 2 PilotEdge controllers. One does the radar stuff, so approach, departure, center, and the other controller does tower, ground, and clearance. That's also why on PilotEdge, when you switch from tower to departure, or from non-radar to radar, or the other way around, it's most appropriate to say thank you for your help, bye, because then you're really switching to another guy. You could also do that in the real world. There would be a separate controller for each frequency, and you can do it also when you switch from tower to ground, for example, saying bye and thanks. But here on PilotEdge, you're still talking to the same guy. Not a big thing at all, but just nice to consider. Okay. So this was Bravo. So he thought that we were there, but we were not. We were at Foxtrot, so we're now on Echo. And as you can see here, here's the line of the non-movement area, this dashed line. And that means that when we cross that line, we are completely out of the controller's ground airspace, you could say, and we can freely taxi around without any clearance. So if we would be parked over here and we would like to park to that taxi to that hangar, we can just do that without contacting ground. Nice jets here. It's so good to be back once more at Palm Springs.
Envoy 432 Delta, traffic 12 o'clock, 2 miles opposite direction onto the case 3.
Let's park to the right here for once.
Envoy 32 Delta, turn 30 degrees right for traffic.
Alright. I guess we can just taxi over this stuff. Manual braking.
FIA 43 Delta, clear.
Perfect.
Cross Moore Bay 4.
Okay. So
circle.
Transponder off. Avionics off first. Cut off. Wait until the prop stops. Blah 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 blah. There it is. Magneto switch to off. And then the alternator off and the batteries off, right? Parking brake set, prevent cross-feeding there.
Hotel is Sky 4 Golf Echo vacated left on Judith.
Oh, that's something that I would do, by the way. Because I somehow when the avionics are off, you can still hear PilotEdge on X-Plane. That does work, but
taxi
not here on
parking
Prepared.
the,
So I
Charlie
like
Hotel
to
Alpha.
just switch the frequency
Parking via Charlie Hotel Alpha, thank you.
to this, so we when we start up, we don't hear PilotEdge when we do our initial pre-flight checks. Avionics off then, and there goes the battery. Okay, parking brake sets, control wheel lock, our virtual headphones off. Open the door. Very good. And anything else that we need to do here? No, I don't think so. Other than just putting on our pitot tube cover and our wheel chocks. And let's also for once put on our tie downs. Awesome-y. Okay, guys. Sniper, what headset do you use? This is the Turtle Beach. The sound is really good off your mic. Yeah, I really like this headphone tune. It's not that new, to be honest. It's the Turtle Beach edition. I guess they already have some new ones. And what I really like is that I have pretty big ears, so it really fits very nicely here on my ears, around my ears. Very soft. Also here on the top, and it also has a very handy. It's USB connected, and also has some a small device in between the wearing here in the line, where you control the mic volume and all kinds of different. So you can also plug in another device. So I can actually plug in my my iPhone, for example, here on that hub, so I can hear my music through the headset while I'm also hearing PilotEdge and or any sound that's coming from my PC, which is nice. And what I really like is the fact that it has a I don't know what it's called. It's I can also hear my own voice digitally through my headphone, and I really like that as well. So. Hey Scotty, welcome on board. Dang, nice flight. Yeah, it really was. It was a nice flight. I also just, except for the flight, also in terms of my performance, it went pretty well. It was not that a challenge at all, but I really felt on top of things. That's good. And it's also because it's Saturday, obviously, and I didn't have a working day, which I really thought about that as well in the previous. I don't know if I talked about that in the previous episode, like the whole psychological dimension to flying, which is a real big concern, a serious concern for real world pilots, because if you're stressed or you're sick or you're, well, not feeling good, then that really influences your flight performance, obviously. But the same applies to flight simulation as well. If you're stressed and you're tired, you can see that in your flight performance here on Flight Sim. If you're really challenging yourself or flying with PilotEdge and doing serious training stuff, you can see that the same mentality is required to nail those traffic patterns or whatever you're practicing. And I was noticing that as well. And that's because as a hobby, I'm usually really tired by my, well, after a working day, and I really like to fly. But in that case, I'm so tired already that I'm not able to really nail my flights. And this time around on Saturday, I was having a really nice, relaxing day. And then it's so obvious that I'm much more in shape and concentrated and focused just to fly. You can see that. Hopefully, I felt it in this particular flight, which is very interesting. Anyway, yeah, guys, it's a short flight, but that's it. Perhaps we're going to fly tomorrow as well. Don't know if I have the time. What's the whole idea? Well, we're currently Cat 6 of PilotEdge, and I was preparing for Cat 7. And that's a flight, as you probably already know, from, let me see, oh, lots of VMC there in the LA area. That's a flight from that San Bernardino airport, my enemy, when I see San Bernardino, I immediately think of that flight when I misjudged the airport, the San Bernardino airport for that closed airport here, Rialto. Man. Anyway, big learning experience. San Bernardino International to Monte. So from one Delta class airport to the next, which we already did in one of the previous episodes. But the exception here is, or the new thing is that we need to cross this big Charlie airspace. And PilotEdge requires us for the Cat 7 rating to ask clearance for entering or transitioning that airspace, which is something that I never did before. Which shouldn't be that difficult, I guess. It's pretty much like flying into Palm Springs like we did today. So we say, hey, we'd like to transition on this altitude, and we get a squawk code and perhaps a heading or a particular altitude to fly, and that's it. But I don't know for sure, so I'll need to look at the transcripts. But anyway, for that Cat 7 rating, we need to go to San Bernardino, obviously. So that might be a nice destination airport for tomorrow, perhaps, when I have the time to fly. So from Palm Springs to San Bernardino. We'll have a look. Also hoping that the weather is okay, because we're always flying on real weather, as you know, and I haven't got a faint idea what the forecast is doing for tomorrow. Well, we'll have a look. Anyway, so that was episode 53, guys. Thank you again for jumping on board and enjoying my flight as well. Thank you for the follow, and hoping to see you on the next episode, 54, when we are probably going back to San Bernardino in preparation of our Cat 7 rating to keep on going with my training here to get as close to an instrument rating and flight simulator as I possibly can. Guys, thank you. Happy flights, blue skies, and see you next time. Bye.
Welcome to the Uncertified Pilot. I'm Tim, and this is my flight simulator.